So your funnel is like your customer journey, where people are, how they go from point A to giving you money, basically, right? So making sure you're touching all of those marketing channels. So your customer journey starts with visibility, how people see you. And I tell people, if enough people can't see you, then enough people can't pay you, right? So you need to make sure that you're visible. So are you on Instagram? If you're on TikTok, whatever that is, thinking about what the strategies or the content that you're actually putting out on those platforms. And then once you put a content out, where are they going? Are they just following you? Are you just hoping and praying they go to your website? Like, do you have some type of lead generation where they can DM you and you can get their email? They can join your email list. They can go to a quiz or a text message list. Something to like move them through.
So they keep using the R word, y'all, R, recession. And for those of us who are entrepreneurs or even working in industry, we're like, Lord, we can't handle this. We don't need all this drama going on. But I know a lot of you are worried about the impact. But honey, we have some marketing help today. And so I'm super excited that we're going to get some marketing strategies because no matter what, y'all, we got to focus on the money. We can focus on the things that we can only control. So thank you. Thank you for coming to another episode of the Thank Me Later Show with me, your host, Jini, where we help you master your money and transform your life. And the transformation we are working on today is we're going to have some marketing mastery with Miss Monrae. Hey, Monrae.
Hello. I am excited.
Girl, I'm so excited that you are here.
Yes.
So I need to properly introduce you.
Okay.
Honey, let me just let the folks know who is in the building today. So our guest today is Marketing by Monrae. Monrae is a 7-figure CEO with a passion to educate, empower, and transform CEOs through the combination of data and creativity to launch revenue-generating campaigns. Monrae has built several marketing teams that have generated 6 to 7-figure campaigns for their companies, launched 100-plus successful campaigns across multiple industries around the world. She has coached over 18,000 founders and CEOs. Is that number right, girl?
Yes.
What? Girl, you too grown. In the last 9 years on how to scale their business. Thank you for being here.
Wow. Who is that, girl? That was me.
You so crazy. You so grown. You are so grown. So I've had the pleasure of knowing you. I don't think 2 years. It hasn't been 2 years, has it? Maybe close.
You're close to it.
Maybe close to 2 years. So for the people who don't know Marketing by Monrae, let's give a little background as to who you are and how you got to this fabulous girl. You know, I keep focusing on that necklace, that ghetto CEO necklace.
Yes, because being a CEO is ghetto unless you have good marketing.
Okay. I know that's right.
But I mean, I'm just a girl from Memphis. I'm from Memphis, Tennessee. I started my business at 19 years old at the University of Southern Mississippi. And God gave me this talent to be able to do marketing. I wasn't formally educated to do marketing. I actually went to school for accounting. So all of my genius was put together to be able to serve entrepreneurs, and I love to do it every day.
Yeah, I love that about you. And one thing that I think that I really respect about you, and it's probably that accounting side of you, girl, you don't play about that data.
What?
Yeah.
You gotta make some money.
Listen, I love that, but you literally understand the data because I, you know, as a CPA, as an accountant, I'm the person who pays for marketing. You see what I mean? That's our job for our clients. We make sure it gets paid for. I don't really understand all that comes with it, but I've always appreciated how it's not like, oh, we should do this. Oh, this is cute. This is fun. We should do this. It's like, here's the data. This is why, you know, this is how this did or did not work. And just really marrying those things together. Because without the data, who cares?
It doesn't make sense. And I think that one thing that a lot of entrepreneurs, especially during a recession, you have to lean into what is going to generate you the results, right? And so the data is what's going to be able to tell the story. And so when you lean into the data, you create the creative campaigns or the creativity or the experiential marketing or whatever around the data so you can get to the money.
Understood. So did you know, obviously you studied accounting. Like, did you start your career that way or did you were marketing from day one?
So honestly, I didn't know what I was doing.
Okay. Like a lot of us.
Yeah, like I didn't know what to call it. I just was taking marketing classes, and I'm like, okay, it sounds like I'm doing marketing, brand management, something, you know.
Right.
But I started at 19 at the University of Southern Mississippi, and I was an assistant for a makeup artist. And she said, I need an assistant. I was like, I need a job.
Right.
So she didn't necessarily know what an assistant did. So I started to do her social media. I started to help her host events in Mississippi. I started to help her pitch to publications. And I was like, oh, I kind of like this. And so I started to do it for other brands around in Mississippi. And I expanded to Louisiana and Memphis, where I'm from. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, I done stumbled into a business. Mm-hmm. So that is kind of how I got started.
So it seems like you probably just kind of had a natural thing for it.
Absolutely. And what I discovered, even through like my data and creativity, it wasn't that I was formally trained. When we do forecasts, when it comes to when it comes to marketing campaigns, it was just something that I thought was right. And so then I would go research it, do it, it would work out. And I'm like, oh, this is an actual concept. And so that's why I always say it's a God-given talent.
Right. Love that about you. So a lot of entrepreneurs, or people just in general, are really kind of concerned about the climate now.
Yes.
And so when you kind of think about that, whether we are headed to a recession or not, I mean, we can't control that.
Right.
It won't be the first or the last.
Absolutely.
What are the top 2 to 3 mindset shifts that you suggest entrepreneurs make right now in case we are coming into more uncertain times?
So the first thing I would say is you have to shift your mindset from an entrepreneur to a CEO. Like, this is the time that you got to step up and really run your business. Like, you have to get back into the weeds and understand what's going on and execute at a high level. What I do see with a lot of entrepreneurs, especially at this time, they get scared.
Right.
And they're like, okay, I don't know if I should do this, or I don't know if I should try this, but this is the time to throw it at the wall and really make it stick. So first is to have a CEO shift mindset, because at the end of the day, your job is to generate revenue. And if you don't, you're not going to make any money. After that, I would say really leaning into community on the marketing side, because while everyone is a little bit more hesitant to spend money, we're still spending money.
Right. For sure.
You have to spend money, and you're going to spend the money on things that you know that you feel like it's a necessity, or you feel like you want and have a desire for. And so you have to lean into community. It's not just about having a brand with no personality behind it. You need to lean into community events. You may need to lean into in real life experiences. You need to get offline and really touch your people.
When you say community, what do you mean, though?
So community is depending on what type of company you have, right? So it could be generating a Facebook group. It could be making sure that you're putting all the people that's excited about your brand in one place.
Gotcha.
So they can have each other. One thing that I've realized is after the recession, people like missed each other. Right. They were like, I want to go outside. Like, you see a uptick in like the run clubs, or like dads are out running with their babies now, and they're in this community. So people want to be around people and want to feel a part of something instead of just buying something.
And just buy. Okay. So that connectivity is what you're referring to.
Absolutely.
So now when you think about the most common marketing mistakes businesses make during a recession, what are your top couple that you see?
The first thing I think is always cutting marketing.
and listen, let me just say, as the accountant,
yes,
that's what we hear. Okay, this is going literally, it's in the top 2 to 3 things.
Mm-hmm. Okay, why is that?
I'm not saying it's my choice.
Okay.
But everybody doesn't value it. I think a lot of people don't look at it as a driver of revenue.
Yeah.
I think sometimes people think it's something extra versus if we don't do this, then we don't make the money.
Right.
You know, looking at it from... If you equated it that way, you'll be like, oh my goodness, we might need to do more here versus less. So cutting marketing, what's another thing you see people do?
So I definitely see people cutting marketing. I also see people not leaning into what's working, like trying 17 new things, right? Like instead of going back to the data and see when we made $100,000 last time, what was the exact funnel, the exact outline? What did we do to get our customers to convert? And then they stop talking to their new customers. Like a lot of times, which is going into spending and marketing, right? New customer acquisition has to continue.
Right.
Like you still, even though the recession is happening or maybe happening or whatever,
you have to focus.
You still have to zone in and get these new customers into your funnel, into your atmosphere so people can convert.
Right. And so when you talk about new customer acquisition, because obviously you can sell to people that you're already selling to, but you got to find some new people who don't know who you are.
Yes.
He said, please do that. Please do that. And so that's obviously a whole different strategy. What you're saying to those people is very different than what you're saying to people who have already bought from you.
Yeah, it is.
And so you're like, but like, help me, girl, because I'm like, remember, this is a CPA over here. I'm like, what? This is literally, we could be talking about chemistry right now.
Okay.
That's how foreign this is to me. So if people are looking for new customers, give me a couple ideas of what they're doing.
Yeah, so the first thing depending on the type of brand, like if it's an e-commerce brand, we have to get new customers in to say, oh, I like this brand over maybe something I'm already using, or I'm going to invest in this company, right? And so one thing that we suggest for new client acquisition is a quiz funnel. Like that is a quiz to say, are you this type of person? Do you want this type of result? Because people right now really are loving quizzes. And so with that funnel in the back end is going to get them into your community. They're going to now have emails. They're going to now have text messages so that you could be able to have multiple touch points with them, and they're converting a lot higher. So I think, and even if it's not a quiz, you just need something to push them into. And even if it's paid traffic, if it's organic, because another mistake that I'm seeing people do is cut paid traffic because they want to minimize how much they're spending in marketing. So it's like, well, let me just cut paid traffic. But organic traffic is controlled by the Instagram, Meta, TikTok.
You can't control that.
You can't control that.
So when you say paid traffic, that means now you're literally buying ads on whatever the platform is.
Absolutely. And so you have more control over that because you can spend to get in front of the people versus me putting this post out and hoping and praying that it gets in front of the right people. So instead of posting and praying, making sure you put your dollars behind it so it can get in front of the right people.
And so do organic strategies work then?
Yeah, so it does work with the right strategy. So, and one thing that I tell people is marketing is a multi-channel thing. Like it's not just leaning into one piece of the puzzle. All of these pieces kind of funnel together and work together. Like when we analyze the data on the back end, it's taking customers, it used to take them 3 to 5 touch points. It's taking them 7 to 11 touch points at this point.
Get out of here.
Yes. Like,
because we have too many choices now, you think?
Well, they're being a little bit more hesitant with their money. So instead of, I see you on Instagram, okay, then I seen your ad and then you send me an email, I like you, girl. Let me give you this $50.
Gotcha.
Right now, I need to see everything. I need to see a YouTube video. I need to see a TikTok. I need to keep seeing you over and over again so I can feel convicted to buy this product. So if it's taking 11 touch points for someone to check out and you're only posting on Instagram once a day, you're now expanding the amount of time that it's going to take.
Because you can't convert them because you've only touched them one time.
Exactly. So you have to be on these multiple channels and have to do multiple things to get them to convert.
So for those of people like me who are like, girl, that feels like a lot of work. Girl, I'm like, what in the world? Okay, so let's talk about strategy and tactics. So if people's budgets are tighter, just because maybe their revenue is down. But they need to be marketing. What are some low-cost things people can do to help, get the revenue going?
Yeah, so I really, really recommend leaning into community activities and in real life experiences. And a lot of times we think that in real life experiences have to be the over-the-top $20,000, $50,000 budget, right? We just hosted something in our WeWork where our office is. It literally cost us $200 to hire the photographer. We did a headshot party. Invited all of the businesses in. $200 clients locked in. Right? So, but it got people to see, understand what we have going on, what we do as an agency, all of that, right? It doesn't have to be something super expensive, but you also, we've done partnerships with businesses like Pretty Little Taco. Businesses want to collaborate right now because they're experiencing the same thing. Right. So just leaning into, I think, getting offline to kind of touch people a little bit more, going to more events, things of that nature, so you can find your clients.
Gotcha. And so why a headshot party? Like, I'm like, that is so cute. I would have come, girl. That is cute.
Yes. So for us, one thing that attracts people to us is our creativity. but we use the data behind it to get you the results, right? So if we were to lead with data, you would be like,
bored.
Yeah, you would be bored.
For sure.
Yeah. So
Right.
if we lead with the creativity where you got headshots and we got drinks and mixers and snacks and music,
Right.
then you're like, okay, yeah, I see what y'all got going on.
So what are your strategies for leveraging social media if we are in a recession? And I know, girl, we have all the platforms.
Yes.
I'm like, Lord, I feel overwhelmed. I was talking to the team before you got here. I'm like, I'm not on TikTok at all.
Yeah, you got to get on TikTok.
I know it. I'm just like, this is just one more thing.
Yes.
So again, it seems like that could be something that people could do, to help them move the needle. Maybe their budget's a little tight.
Yeah.
But kind of talk through that a little bit.
So I definitely think on social media, it's important to have a strong organic strategy, right? And the reason why is because it does fuel everything else. It fuels your lead generation and email. It fuels your paid traffic. It fuels all of that, right? So your organic strategy, yes, I would get on Instagram and making sure we're posting. Instagram is known for more educational content, more tutorials, things like that. But TikTok wants to see in real life content. They want to see the BTS, the behind the scenes of what we're doing now. They want to see you brushing your hair in the morning. They just want to be in your business.
Right.
So let them in your business, right? They might want to see you packing orders. They may want to see you behind the scenes with a client. Like they just want to see what's going on and you to storytell. Another thing with your organic strategy is series. Like you can create, maybe you have a CPA series where you're like auditing people's budgets of big companies, right? We're looking behind the scenes of the P&L of McDonald's and, Burger King and whatever. And that's a series that people are now ready to tune into and they're coming back every other day to find that series. So just finding different niches, but also making sure you're using storytelling in your content as well.
Do you think the riches are in the niches?
I don't anymore.
For real?
Yes.
Why?
Yes. I think people are bored now with the niches. I think people want to see all of it. They want to see you at work, you picking up your grandkids or your kids. They want to see you out having dinner. They want to see all of it. They just are a little bit more nosy. So they don't necessarily just want to see you doing accounting, right? So they want to be invested into your life, into your total brand.
Right. So for people like me, when I hear you say that, girl, I could just lay on the floor. No, like legit.
Yeah.
Because I know obviously they're different personalities. I don't know if it's just generational. I'm like, when I hear you say that, I'm like, girl, that is too much.
Like, you're in my business.
So for people like me who may want to grow their business, lead a business, launch a product, but they are like, that feels like too much. How do you help your clients get past that?
So what we tell them is most of the time it's like, if it's going to make us money, are you okay with like not making $100,000 this month? Like, are you okay with that?
Right.
You're going to be like, no. I'm like, okay, so let's kind of meet in the middle, right? So you may not necessarily have to record you picking up your kids or you going on a date with your husband. Like you may not have to record that, but can you record the your outfit when you get ready? So then we can put a little voiceover over it with a, can we record some of the moments? So that we can still have that, but it's not like every moment you feel like, because I think the disconnect is you feel like you always have to have a camera in your face.
Right.
And you choose the moments that you record and then you still continue to live your life.
Right. And so for people who don't have a Marketing by Monrae on their team and they can't decide what moments to choose, like, how do you know? Is it based on what your sales objective is? Is it just based on the fact that, I need to let my customer base know about me a little bit more? How do you pick?
So it depends. It depends on what the goal is. So we're looking for more. So when we're looking to sell, we're going to do more niche content, but we're going to know that it's not going to have the high engagement. But you need a mix of visibility so that people can actually see you. So you need a mix of content that's actually engaging. So engaging content has to reach a lot of people.
Okay.
So that it can get a lot, right? So you want to think about, okay, I'm going out on Saturday night. I can commit to recording 3 moments today.
Okay, all right. Okay.
Just 3 moments.
Okay.
It may be me in a bathroom and I'm seeing myself in the mirror.
Right.
Okay, a moment.
Right.
It may be me getting my dinner. Hey, friend, can you record me? Then put my plate down and my drink. Okay, that's it.
Right.
Me getting in the car. Okay, that was my 3 moments.
Right.
That did not take your whole night. That did not,
didn't
impede on
interrupt
it.
what you were doing.
Exactly. So it's a compromise between the two.
Gotcha. Ooh, girl, I'm still feeling a little anxiety right here.
Don't. You can do it. You can do it.
I can do it. Anything else? Any other tips that you want to share with entrepreneurs, no matter if they are, making $200,000 a month or $2,000 a month? Like anything else?
I think right now, a lot of it is just making sure that you're touching every part of the funnel, right? So thinking about
Describe the funnel. If people have no idea what that means.
Yeah, so your funnel is like your customer journey, where people are, how they go from point A to giving you money, basically, right? So making sure you're touching all of those marketing channels. So your customer journey starts with visibility, how people see you. And I tell people, if enough people can't see you, then enough people can't pay you, right? So you need to make sure that you're visible. So are you on Instagram? If you're on TikTok, whatever that is, thinking about what the strategies or the content that you're actually putting out on those platforms. And then once you put a content out, where are they going? Are they just following you? Are you just hoping and praying they go to your website? Like, do you have some type of lead generation where they can DM you and you can get their email? They can join your email list. They can go to a quiz or a text message list. Something to like move them through the journey. Like thinking about your customer journey is like thinking about if this person was physically in the store and you're walking them through the store, right? For them to be able to do the thing you want them to do. And so once they're on their email list, are you consistently emailing them? Are you consistent? Because that's the thing. Girl. It ain't that we don't got it.
Right.
Consistent.
Right.
Consistently emailing them, consistent. And when I say consistent, I'm not saying one time a week.
Okay.
I'm saying 3 to 5 times a week. Like, are you touching them?
Stop it.
Yes. Making sure that you touch them. We got to get to this 11 times.
Right.
These 7 to 11 times. And so we have to make sure that we're consistently making those touch points. And so once you email them, if you have a community or whatever that next step is for you, then are you reminding them when they go to the website to check out, hey, you left something, you didn't get it.
Right.
Trying to figure out what's going on. Like, even if you're at the point where you're like, hey, I don't know why this isn't working. On the marketing campaigns, I've picked up the phone and started calling customers.
Right.
Hey, girl, I seen you drop this in your cart.
Yeah.
What was wrong?
Right.
You all right? You know? So just making sure you're proactive with making sales, because right now, the CEOs that's being proactive and being invested in them actually making sales, they're winning.
Gotcha. Girl, when you said that 3 to 5 times a week, I'm just like, at what point are you annoying your customer?
So, it's so funny that we say that, but then we get emails every day from Bath and Body Works, every day from Target, every day. And we'll open some, we delete some, we open some, and we don't say, oh, they're annoying me.
Right.
We never unsubscribe.
Because it's just like, it's part of it.
It's a part of the game.
And probably afraid to unsubscribe because we feel like we might miss something. Right.
Exactly. So it's more so about when that person feels, hey, I don't want to miss something and I'm going to open it and read it.
Right.
That's based on your subject line, what you're saying. Like, we sent out an email. We sent that email for one of our clients, and we told them on April Fool's that all of their centers, their daycare centers, were closing. I'm talking about open rate went through the roof, but we had a call to action. Baby, I need you to come to this webinar.
Right. Because they were like, oh my God,
yes.
Where's my kid gonna go? Where's my kid going? What are we doing, people?
What is happening, right? So making sure you can really cut through the noise, but it's not annoying your customers. Your customers want to be reminded that you exist, because that's why they're on their list.
Gotcha. I love that. All right. So we have somebody who called in on the Thank Me Later hotline who has a question for you.
Okay, hey, girl.
Hey.
Hi, my name is Jessica, and I'm from Oakland. I've had my business for 3 years now, and I've been feeling uninspired, especially during these challenging times. How can I maintain motivation and creativity during times of economic uncertainty?
One thing that I would tell you, Jessica, is that you really have to pull everything up inside of you to keep going. Because honestly, if you know that this is what God called you to do, you have to keep going. And it's not necessarily just about the economic times. You got to know that this is your journey. This is your passion. This is what God called you to do to keep going. So one thing that I would do is just brain dump, just write, right? A lot of times when I feel uninspired or I'm just like, oh, I don't want to do this, I quit every other week, girl. Especially on payroll weeks.
Girl.
So I always say, you know what? Let me sit down and remind myself and write down exactly why I'm doing it, right? Exactly why I was called to do this, even when it gets hard. And I may put sticky notes. I may read this. I may voice note it to myself so I can listen. But I think you're just in a space where you really need to remind yourself that this is what you were called to do.
Right. I appreciate that because being an entrepreneur, I'm so happy you said that. You just freed a lot of people. Girl, I can't tell you how many times I have walked down the hall and I've been like, yep, today's my last day.
I'm glad. Wrap it up.
Like I am done, but I have been that tired. I have been that exhausted. I have been that uninspired, whatever all that is. But people need to understand that's a natural part of the journey.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a part of the journey for sure.
Yeah. And with your blinging necklace, ghetto CEO, it's hard.
It is. And that's why we created the podcast. Like literally when I created the podcast, I was in a space where I was uninspired and I was just like, being a CEO is so ghetto. It's just, I just couldn't describe it because it's like, I didn't sign up for this. I really just wanted to do marketing, but I ended up having to be a CEO where I do 10% marketing. Right. And I really have to run a business.
Absolutely.
But it's something that I wouldn't trade for the world. Like I wouldn't trade this freedom. I wouldn't trade this impact that I make. I wouldn't trade it for a world, but it is ghetto sometimes.
Right. and I'm happy that you're even talking about the trade-off because it's like, I have more freedom, but I also have more responsibility. I have more freedom, but I also work more than the majority of the people that I know. And I think people just think they're striving for the freedom or just the money, not understanding what comes with that. There is a trade-off for sure.
Absolutely.
So you gotta, you have to lean in.
And it's also it could be very lonely at times because you could be going through something that nobody else around you. I remember something happened inside of the business, but nobody else around us or around me could be able to understand it. Not my employees, not my team, not my boyfriend, not my mom. Like they all had empathy, but they couldn't understand what it would feel like to pay a $50,000 payroll every 2 weeks. They don't. You can't even comprehend that. That is somebody's salary most of the time. So it's like. It's a lonely journey, but you do have to lean in and try to get community and have those breaths where it's like, okay, girl, you want to say it's ghetto.
Yeah.
It is.
but you just got to keep doing it.
You got to keep doing
Many are called, but few are chosen.
Amen.
Too. Yeah. you are chosen. Yes. Sorry, Alpha Phi Alpha. I had to borrow that. All right. So I'm back to some more marketing questions for you. So in a recession, do people need to adjust their messaging at all?
I think that it should be your messaging should be a little bit more brand centric to be able to.
What does that mean?
So brand centric means, okay, so depending on the times, you may be more sales centric, right? Where it's like, okay, girl, we got 2 left. Okay, girl, like it's just more like that urgency. But right now, you don't want to be insensitive to the times. You do need people to still buy. So I think it should be more of the transformation. Like, what are you getting out of this? What will happen if you don't get this thing?
Right.
Like if you don't become a client and get your taxes done or get your books done, you will go to jail. So what is the repercussion of them not doing the thing?
Right. I appreciate that because now it does feel more like an investment versus just a purchase.
Yes.
Okay, I love that. All right, girl. Let's talk about data.
Okay.
All right.
My favorite subject.
I know. So when we say you're making decisions based on data, what does that mean?
So one thing that we do, we have a proprietary method that's called the SMC method, and it's an 8-step method to be able to do marketing, right? And so our second step, before we even get to what should we post on social media, what should we do on email, we have to say, what is our goal? If you want to make $100,000, what is the touch points or what has to happen to make this thing true? Right? So how many people need to come to the website? How many impressions do we have to have? What does the engagement need to look like? And so making sure we are creating a forecast of what that predictable touch points or metrics need to be so that we could be able to guarantee that goal.
And what I hear you saying, though, is it's not like you just have this arbitrary number like, ooh, I want to make $100,000 in revenue in whatever month it is. It's like, in order, we can do that.
Yeah.
But these are all the things that we're going to have to do.
Absolutely. And a lot of times what ends up happening is one or two things, right? So we start breaking it down and we tell you like, hey, this is what you have to do to hit the $100,000 goal. You either have to say, I don't want to do that. Or I don't think that we can hit these numbers. Or I think that having 1 million impressions on social media is a reach when I only been doing 100,000. Like, you have to have, it allows us to give CEOs a reality check. Because CEOs come to marketers and they're like, I want the world, the dreams, the stars, the moon,
Absolutely. Make it happen.
Make it happen.
You're a magician.
Yes.
Not a marketer. You're a magician.
Absolutely. Wrong imp. Okay. So just being able to give them a reality check so we could be able to see the numbers and say, okay, well, this isn't possible based on our last data, but this number is possible if we need to change the goal or we need to increase the metrics. So it's either one of the two things need to happen.
And now this data, you're pulling it from where? Because you keep saying data. You're pulling it, this is from Instagram and Facebook and TikTok or website traffic. You're just pulling it from the different sources that you are having your clients market on.
Yeah. So wherever your marketing channels are, typically in the back end, they give you what you call analytics. And so you can see the website traffic, you can see the impressions, you can see the touch points, but you need to know how to read the data.
No, for sure.
Right? Like, and honestly, the reason why I love numbers is because it's facts over feelings.
Oh, yeah. No. They don't lie.
They do not lie. And I get in my feelings as a CEO. I be like, I feel like I did all of this. Right. But the numbers are going to tell us every single time, like, okay, while you feel this way, this is what actually happened. And this allows us to be able to get to the results.
Okay. I love that. So let's talk about AI.
Okay.
Lord, everybody's talking about AI.
Yes.
How can AI help entrepreneurs in the context of marketing?
Yeah, absolutely. So one thing we love at our company is ChatGPT. Okay, she works there. Okay, she's a part-time employee for $20 a month.
I know.
So one thing that we do is we train our AI for each client that we have, and so our AI can write copy, can write social media captions. It can script. It could do anything that a marketer can do. Now, the thing is, AI only works as well as you work. So if you put in trash, you're going to get out trash, right? So you have to have a concept of what to ask it, but it can't expedite your marketing process.
And for people who are like, girl, I hear what you're saying. Very familiar. I'm sure most people are using AI to some degree right now. But if marketing is not their background, they could very well be asking the wrong questions.
Absolutely.
So that means they have to hire you to understand what to do?
Well, step one. No, I'm just like... Honestly, you have to start to study somewhere, right? Like, so it's not like you could go to AI and have no concept of marketing is going to make you a marketing genius, right? So you have to have some type of concept of marketing to know what to ask, right? And so the first step is, if you're doing a marketing campaign, going and if it's not learning from us or being hiring us, going and learning what a marketing campaign is and being able to have the steps. I think a lot of times the biggest mistake that CEOs make is not learning the things that they need to learn in their business before they can hire.
Understood.
Like, even if you can't hire a marketing agency, that does not alleviate you from learning marketing. You need to learn marketing, operations, finance. You need to have a little bit of all of it. Yeah, because you can't afford it.
Cannot afford to do it. Ooh, girl, I think you just called me out on that one, Lord. Ooh. So let's talk about emerging marketing channels and technologies that might be out here.
Yeah.
What's on the horizon that some folk may not know about?
Yeah, so I honestly think, because technology in marketing is a shiny object, right? Like, new software come out and it's like, oh, I should jump to this. Oh, should I do this, right? I think you should just pick your thing and glean all the way in. And if I was to recommend any technology right now, I really think you should really learn how to use ChatGPT. Like, if you really learn how to use it where it can write your captions. Like, I talk to ChatGPT about everything. I be like, my boyfriend did this. What you think?
Girl, you so crazy. You are not doing that for real.
Yes, we talk. That is my friend, okay? But and the reason why I do it is because it allows it to know my personality and who I am and the things that I think about and all of that, right? And so when it's writing captions for me, you don't know that it's AI. Right? You don't know that it was ChatGPT and I said write a caption in 10 seconds, it gave it back and I had a whole LinkedIn post, right? You don't know that, but that's because I spent time with it to allow it to get to know me. So you might not be telling it all your business.
Right.
But you can be able to get to know it, allow it to know the brand, and then ask it, hey, I don't know how to use ChatGPT, but I want to start to use it for my marketing. Can you ask me 20 questions so you can get to know about my business?
I love that.
Yeah,
that's easy.
Yeah. And let it ask you the questions and answer the questions. And if you don't know the questions, like we use it for everything from SOPs, from our operational side to our marketing side, but you have to train it.
Gotcha. I love that because even when you talk about something that could be hard for somebody, like writing a caption or whatever content that they're getting ready to record, to think that you could literally get the support in the part that is not your strength.
Absolutely.
That seems like that could be really, really helpful.
Yeah.
Does ChatGPT give good marketing campaign ideas?
It can. You have to feed it you
What's
have to
good to you.
Exactly. And then you also have to let it know what you want it to do, right? And so we've created like customized chat GPTs. People that can hire us, they buy our customized chat GPTs for like $40, $50 or whatever.
What does that mean?
So we've created like customized chats that get results, right? So you can click the link and then it's going to ask you questions like, hey, tell me about your business. Okay, tell me about this. And then it's going to spit you out a full marketing plan.
Girl, for real?
Yes, girl. So it just but you have to answer the questions for it to know you, but it's going to use my methodology and what I've trained it in the background to be able to give you those steps.
I love that.
Yeah.
So that sounds like then maybe some clients who may not be able to engage you for all of the amazing, wonderful things that Marketing by Monrae does, that they could at least engage to that degree.
Absolutely.
Oh,
Absolutely.
I love that.
Yes.
Girl, I didn't even know that
Yeah.
about
So
you.
we try to help all the girls.
Girl, listen. So while we're talking about that, give us an idea like the services that Marketing by Monrae provides.
Yeah, so our agency is called Red Necessity Digital Agency, and so we provide a host of services, one being launch management. So if you're in the season where you need to do something special to launch a new product or launch something new to the marketplace, or you want to represent something old to the marketplace, then we come in and do a creative launch from a campaign with the visuals, the emails, the ads, the SMS. We do everything. We take on that full marketing scope for you. But we also have like our monthly marketing services where we bring in a fully outsourced team. So let's just say you have a social media manager, but you don't have ads or emails. We put those people inside of your company and a strategist where we actually run everything in your marketing department to get your results, right? But on my personal brand side, I'm still a coach. I still advise businesses. So I make sure that we have the customized chat GPTs that you may need. We may have classes or things of that nature. We have our planner so that regardless of where you are, from a 6-figure business, just starting out, or 8 or 9-figure business, we have a product to support you.
Is it true that you started marketing courses? Did I hear that about you?
Yeah, so we started we made a pivot in 2019. We did our courses with Millionaire Mob University.
Okay. And so you felt you had some mastery in that course area, and then it was like, okay, you felt it had run its course. It was other people were trying to come to check you out.
Yeah, no. So we did amazing. That's where we taught the 18,000 founders how to actually do the services, right? I think that one thing that I realized is that I love marketing. So I love to be in the mix and behind the scenes and making sure that, I can be at the experiential events if we have an event, or like I want to be kind of in the mix.
Right.
And so we just restarted the agency, which is how we started. And so I love teaching, but I love being in the mix to see the things come into life.
I love that. I can see that about you too.
Yeah.
So now looking ahead to 2025, how are you personally preparing your clients for economic uncertainty? Like what y'all doing over there?
So one thing, we're all having conversations with their CPA team to say, okay, what's the reality of what we need to do, right? Like this might not be a growth year, but if we do grow, absolutely, like yay. But what is the reality of what's the baseline of what we need to do? And then making sure we're like analyzing from the back end what's happening in the marketing department so we can hit the baseline goal. Right. Now, if we hit the stretch and all of that, cool. But what do we need to do to make sure it happens?
Okay. I appreciate that. And maybe it is the CPA in me, but I'm like, we're doing this to make money. But it's like, well, how much do we need?
Yeah.
What is baseline?
Yes,
What
yes.
does that look like?
Right.
What is our stretch financial goal? Because that way you'll know how close or how far you are.
Right.
Is it working? The campaign,
Absolutely.
whatever you're doing, is it working?
Absolutely. And having those conversations early, right? Like we started to foresee this way before this year started,
For
right?
sure.
So like, what do we need to do to make sure that we are able to increase profitability, right? And if we're going to start exploring channels, what does that look like? So a lot of our clients are heading to TikTok. Well, TikTok is going to cut short profitability because they need discounts. So what does that look like for you? Can you sustain that platform, or should we try to lean into another platform? Like we could go all in, but I'm telling you, your profitability is going to be cut. So do we need the cash, and we could just use this? Because some platforms you can like, okay, I don't need the cash. I could use this as a break-even platform just to get the visibility.
For marketing.
Yes,
Right.
and the
Visibility.
attraction. Yep.
Right.
And the other platforms, we're going to say, okay, this is where we make our profit.
Right.
But you got to be strategic enough as a CEO to make those decisions.
So TikTok is like, come through with the discount. Huh?
Oh, for sure.
Really?
For sure.
What in the world?
Yes.
So are they keeping like why are they forcing people to have the discount?
So it's more of the TikTok mindset of the way that they started, right? It was always like, add this to your cart, you can get 10% off. At TikTok not doing that 10%, they're giving it to the business, So even though if you do like a TikTok live, they suggest that your average order value is over $30 and do a bundle, but you still have to be able to see in the back end, are you profitable enough to even support that bundle being at $30 or $35. Like people on TikTok are not spending $100 in a bed scrolling, seeing you on live for a couple hours. So you have to be able to kind of keep up with the traffic.
I love that. And the other thing that I hear you saying is certainly leaders, they need to have a basic understanding about marketing. They certainly need to have a basic understanding about their numbers. Because I see people avoiding that because a lot of times people don't know how much money they need to sell, how much they need to sell a product for in order to be profitable.
Yes.
At what point our discount is too much?
Yes. And it's so funny because a lot of clients, or I've just heard a lot of founders, they run from their finance calls.
Oh, all the time.
They're like, I don't want to do this. This is stressful, right?
Oh my God.
But those are the calls I'm like, girl, this is what we need to know. So that we could be able, because I could do all the marketing in the world.
Doesn't matter.
Right. And then because what'll end up happening, we do all the marketing in the world. We're not profitable. The finance company that's not necessarily in sync with us, they're like, oh, y'all aren't doing anything.
Right.
Like it's not helping moving the bottom line. And so we have to have those conversations to make sure we're on the same page.
Don't run from the numbers.
Yes.
I have clients who have literally said, Jini, you make my head hurt.
Now
I'm like, of all the people, you want to talk to me.
Yes.
I am the because we do this for money.
Yes, exactly.
We do this for money. I love that. All right. As we get ready to wrap up, I have some rapid fire marketing questions for you. All right. Rapid fire, girl. So if you only had $500 to market a new business, what would you spend it on?
Ads.
For real?
Paid ads. I mean, I know exactly what them paid ads are going to do. I'm going to spend $500 on a lead generation ad. I'm going to do a low ticket lead generation ad with a click through in Facebook, and I'll probably get that lead for about maybe 50 cents to $1, and I'm going to get 500 leads, and I'm going to pick up the phone and call all 500 people.
Girl. All right. You've launched your course, but students aren't finishing it. How do you increase engagement?
So what I would do is I'm probably going to analyze the course, but I'm always the pick up the phone and like, why you ain't doing what you're supposed to do? So
I love that.
Just ask people,
ask them.
Why are we guessing?
Right.
So asking people why aren't they finishing the course, and then kind of go in and alter it.
Okay. You want to create a high ticket digital product, but your audience is used to free content. How do you shift their mindset?
So the first thing that I would do would elevate my content, elevate the conversations that I'm having. So one thing that I've had to do, right? So when I first started with the Marketing By Monrae brand, it was to the small business owner. So it was like, girl, if you broke, you need to da-da-da-da, right? But we have a high-ticket agency. And so now I have to elevate the conversation to be able to talk about other things. So I think that, scripting your content to speak to the audience you want to speak to.
Okay. Would you focus on influencer marketing or paid ads for an emerging product brand?
Paid ads.
Okay. What are your thoughts on influencer marketing?
I actually love influencer marketing, more so from the creator side because you get content and their audience. But if I was new and I had to pick, I would do paid ads because I just feel like paid ads are more guaranteed, right?
Gotcha.
Like you know what you're going to get. And with an influencer marketing, you could pay all of that money.
Okay. So your webinar had 500 signups, but only 5 people bought your course.
Mm-hmm.
What do you do to fix it first?
The first thing I go back and do is look at the data. So if 500 people signed up for the course and my show up rate, let's just say was 10%, that means 50 people actually showed up, but 5 people bought it. That means I had a conversion rate of 10% that was actually on par. So I need to get more people signed up.
For real?
Mm-hmm.
So that just means that 500, that just wasn't
You
enough
needed
from the
5,000.
beginning. Oh my God, girl. Why does that feel like a lot? But
It is
but it just is
not.
what it is.
Yeah. And even thinking about that, like, okay, cool. I need 5,000 people.
Mm-hmm.
And then I know my course on the back end, let's just say is $2,000 per person, right?
Mm-hmm.
I need 5,000 people. It costs me $3 per lead to get the 5,000 people. That's $15,000 that we have to spend on ads to get that 5,000 people. But if I can convert, I get 500 people in the room and I convert 50 people at $2,000, then does it, like, just running the numbers and see, does it make sense to make it make sense?
Gotcha.
Basically. Yep.
Okay. I like that rapid fire.
Yay!
Girl, those answers were on it. They were on it. So this is my last question for you. Well, first of all, before anything else you would like to share, you want to tell people
Yes.
just marketing advice.
I think right
I'm going to have
now-
you share your other information later. But,
Okay.
yeah.
No, I think right now, like, I know the numbers was a lot and I kind of went into like my little calculator brain, but I think that it's really important for you to lean into that, even that last question. I think a lot of people as entrepreneurs, we get discouraged so quick with our results. And then we start to really realize like, oh, we're actually on par with what we're supposed to be doing. And we're just not being seen by enough people, right? And so just making sure that you're checking your numbers to make sure you're on par with the results or see what you need to alter.
Okay. I love that. Thank you. Girl, I appreciate that. So I need to ask you this. So finish this sentence for me. If you blank, you will thank me later.
If you market and use data, you will thank me later.
Don't forget about that data.
Yes.
So for people who want to engage with you, follow you, listen to your podcast, all of the things, share all of your information.
Yes, so on all platforms, I'm Marketing by Monrae. But if you want to listen to the podcast, it's Ghetto CEO, because being a CEO is very ghetto unless you use marketing.
Right.
Okay. But if you're interested in our agency services, you can go to rarenecessity.com. That is RARENECESSITY.
Love that. So Marketing by Monrae across all channels.
Yep.
Oh, I love that. Thank you for coming.
Yes.
Thank you for sharing your gift with us.
Of course. I love it.
And, you know, particularly in these economic times, entrepreneurship is even more important.
Mm-hmm.
Like you have to make your own way.
Absolutely.
And so, but you're going to have to sell to the people.
You're going to have to do the work.
Yeah.
You know,
have to sell
and
to the
so I'm
people.
excited.
Yeah.
So I hope everyone was encouraged by listening to this.
Yeah, I appreciate that. So for those of you, obviously, you know, we have the Thank Me Later community. You can go to thankmelatermoney.com. Y'all have all of my social media, Jini Thornton, and all the things. Thank you for tuning into this episode. Please share this. I know you know an entrepreneur. I know you know somebody who is wanting to launch their first product, their 10th product, whatever they have going on. This information would be critically important to them. So please share, like, subscribe, and guess what, y'all? I'll see y'all next episode.